Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing a movie called Searching. I happened to watch it at a pre-screening last week, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more as to why I think that if you are a parent, you absolutely need to watch this movie. I also think that for those of you who are not parents, it's important that you watch it as well. And of course, if you like suspense and thrillers, then this is something not to be missed. So let's take a closer look as to what I thought about this movie. I think many of you may be familiar with the lead actor who's playing the role David Kim by John Cho. He is very popular and well known for the role that he played in Harold and Kumar. He also popularized the term MILF. For those of you who are familiar with the American Pie movie, he plays an excellent role as a father who is in search of his 16-year-old daughter. So there are two things that stood out the most for me with regards to this movie, and I think the first one is simply because I have personally experienced a loss in my life recently. And the reason that this hit home for me was that, you know, very often, whether you experience a loss through somebody dying, maybe you're going through a divorce, whatever that stressful situation in your life is, it's important that you deal with it. It's important to have closure. And you know, the moment that you are investing all your time thinking about the loss and thinking about the stress that you're going through in your life, you unknowingly and unintentionally, most of the time, block everybody else out from your life, and their actions become oblivious to you. You don't actually know what's going on around you. So, you know, point number one, if you're going through something stressful in your life, take the time to deal with it, if you don't want to ignore the people that are in your life. And secondly, it's the digital footprint that we leave in our lives. I mean, so many of us are on social media in one way or the other, and it's amazing the things that can happen and the risks associated with them. And this is one of the things that come through very strongly in the movie. Continuously we're watching the movie through FaceTime, through a laptop. It's not, it's not the traditional camera lens that we're looking through, and this happens throughout the movie. In this movie, we see that David is looking for his daughter, Margot, who is played by Michelle Yeoh, and he is traumatized, and he has to be that parent who eventually has no resort but to break into her laptop to try and find out what she has been up to. And that's the second point that I am referring to. How well do you know your children? How well do you know your husband or your wife or other members in your family? If something, I forbid, had to happen to them today, where will you start searching? Do you know who their friends are? Do you know who they spend their time talking to? And I'm not just talking about, friends that they meet physically. I'm talking about and referring to the friends that they have online, those people that they chat to, and are they all authentic? Have the necessary checks being done to check the safety of your children in this regard? And this is the way that the plot thickens throughout the movie. At one point, you think that this is the person who's guilty, and at another point, something else happens, and he finds another clue, and then you're led to believe that there's something else going on. But there's a twist in the whole plot, and unfortunately for me, I had a hunch as to who it was, and the unfortunate thing is that I was correct. But I must say to you, it's not predictable. Every single person that I spoke to after the movie said to me that they were absolutely, in suspense throughout the whole movie. It's one of the best movies they've watched in a very long time. So I think if you like suspense and you want to keep guessing throughout the movie and hopefully get it wrong, unlike myself, then it's definitely a movie that you must watch. But I think there's some lessons to be learned in terms of online safety and the digital footprint that we leave. it's important that you have these discussions, because if something had to happen, you know, as a parent, as a sister or a brother or whoever, it's important to know that the people that are close to you, you know about their whereabouts, you know about their activities. I'm not asking you to go and pry and get every single password, but this movie has really created and emphasized how careless some of us can be online, and how we have to watch who we speak to and how much we share, because let's face it, there are many people that will use it to their advantage, and it will often be at the risk of somebody else's life. And I think, you know, I live in South Africa, and recently, from reading the news and looking at social media, there's been so many incidents of child abduction and human trafficking, and I think a movie like this is great to create more awareness and to make us all do whatever we need to do to be one step ahead. So I think this is definitely a movie that you need to watch. If I had to give it a rating, for me it's going to be a 7.5 out of 10, and that's simply because my hunch was correct. But like I said, not everybody is going to have the correct hunch, so it will definitely be a great suspense thriller for you to watch. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.